Okay, let's start out sitting on the floor. And I'd like you to sit however you're most comfortable. It can be cross legs, knees bent, or out straight. But I'm going to turn it and face you. Let's begin with a little focused breathing, just to get tuned in and sense how to do our best diaphragmatic breath. So I want you to take your hands, cross them, and you're going to just cup into the sides of your ribs. And that'll give you kind of a target as you expand your rib cage. Now align yourself so you're sitting on your sit bones, and as best as you can sense, try to stack up your rib cage and your head right over the bowl of your pelvis. I want you to press down into your sit bones, and as you feel them pushing into the floor, usually the response will be for the rest of the body to sit up just a little bit taller, and that should give you your best breath as you tune in. When you breathe in, I want you to take the breath in through your nose and feel your rib cage expanding out to the sides, filling up your hands as it gets bigger. And then when you exhale, blow the air out through your mouth like you blow out a candle. And you're going to feel your ribs squeezing in towards the center of your body, pulling away from your hands. As you breathe in, feel the container of your rib cage get bigger as it expands three-dimensionally. And then as you exhale, just observe your abdominal wall as it's gently compressing to help you blow the air out. On this inhale, visualize the air going all the way down to the floor, so those sit bones root into the ground and climbing all the way up to the crown of the head, so you get taller like you're filled with that air. And then exhale back out. And just one more time, as you inhale, feel your ribs lifting and separating out to the sides. And then blow the air out and just wait for all of it to leave, so we get that gentle, supportive hugging in towards your midline. Now let's bring your hands behind your head and just add a little more mobility to this. Now when you breathe in, fill yourself up from bottom to top and let that lift your chest and chin so you come into a slight extension. When you exhale, you're going to round forward, compressing your abs, sinking your ribs down, and curling towards your legs. As you inhale, rise all the way up, go past neutral, lift your chest to extend, and then exhale as you curl forward. Stay aware of the sit bones. I want you to push down into them. Imagine your balloon filling up with the air. Stay on those sit bones as you extend at the top. And then exhale, draw your abs in, flex forward, curling over your legs. Inhale, back up, open your chest, elbows nice and wide at the top. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, pull your abs in, feel those ribs roll under, let your elbows sink. And now this time when you inhale, just come back to neutral. Try to level out each layer of the ribs, then your shoulders, then your head. All right, from here, let's go down onto your back and do some hip rolls. When you lay down, you want your feet just about 6 to 8 inches away from you. Leave a little space in between your knees and rest your arms by your sides. Sensing the neutral alignment of your spine first, just as a reference point. The back of your pelvis is your sacrum, so you want to feel that on the mat, and at the front of your pelvis, your pubic bone and hip bone should be about level with each other. There's just a little curve arching off the back of your low back, and that's your natural shape of your spine there, sorry. Your ribs should all have contact with the mat. There's a little curve here at your neck that it's off the mat, and then you'll feel the back of your skull. So we've got these three major landmarks, again, stacked up, just like when you were sitting. Now, when we do the hip roll, you want to pretend we're peeling the spine off the mat from the tailbone towards the shoulders. You're going to inhale first. On the exhale, start to compress your abdominals, rock the hips to begin lifting them, and then put your weight into your big toes as you curl your hips off the mat. When you arrive at the top, you're going to take an inhale, and you want to create a straight line through your rib cage all the way to your knees. Then when you exhale, start to roll back down, letting your ribs soften one at a time. Then work through the bones of your low back and then your hips. And as you inhale, rock back to a neutral spine. On your exhale, tilt your pelvis again so we feel the abdominals shorten. You're going to squeeze your glutes. And as you lift up, try to send some of that body weight over your feet. Hold at the top. We get a little stretch for your quadriceps here. And then exhale, roll back down. Try to pull your hips toward your heels as you lower. Inhale at the bottom. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale as you roll off. Now you engage your abs right away. And I want you to try to stay aware of them. Make sure they're still supporting you so you get like a gentle bracing at the top, keeping the work out of your back. Hold here and breathe in, and then roll back down. Now feel the spine as you put it down, and try to put space between each vertebra as you drop. Your low back will press flat into the mat, and then get its arch back when you unravel the pelvis to neutral. One more time. Exhale, start to curl the hips off, reaching your knees away from your shoulders as you lift. As you inhale here, try to put the breath into the sides and the back of your body, and then just melt. Ease yourself down one rib at a time, then your low back, and then your hips, and rock back to neutral. All right, flip over into kneeling on your hands and knees. Leave a little space in between your knees, set your hands under your shoulders, and start out with your back flat, like a table, or neutral again. I want you to begin with a couple small motions that then we'll put together. So we're first going to isolate your pelvis tilting again so that your low back rounds slightly and then flattens back out again. Okay, so this slight forward curvature is the standing posture that I want. And then this is kind of turns like into what would be a slumpy posture if you were standing, and then back out. So you're going to exhale, rock your pelvis, and return. And the movement is not any different than what we just did on the hip roll. We just flipped it upside down. But it's the same contraction of the abs and squeeze of the glutes. Just one more time. Tilting your pelvis and releasing. All right, let's bring our attention up to your shoulders. Now, feeling your shoulder blades against your back, we're going to retract and protract them. So when you breathe in, I want you to draw your shoulder blades together. So they're coming in towards your spine and your chest will sink down a little. And then when you exhale, spread your shoulder blades apart. As you inhale, slide them together. That's retraction. And then you push your hands into the floor to help spread them apart to protraction. As you're going back and forth, there really should just be like an inch or two of movement. If you make it any bigger, we start to change the shape of the spine. And right now, I just want you to keep your ribs neutral. Now, this time, I'm going to have you use the little tilt of your pelvis, the movement of your shoulder blades, and we're going to go into a cat stretch. Take a breath in. On your exhale, start by tucking your tail under and feel the rounding of the low back. Now push your mid-spine up to the ceiling. Spread your shoulder blades apart so the spine pokes up in between them and hang your head. Hold there, take a breath in. When you exhale, stick out your tailbone and start to flatten your back. Now, as you come back to neutral, slide your shoulder blades back and down, and then I want you to lift your chest and chin. So we've gone past neutral into a slight extension. Stay here, take another breath in. Exhale, tuck your tail under, pull the abs up, round your spine, and try to keep your weight even between your arms and legs. Hold here, take a breath in to stay, and then exhale, roll it back out, tail to head, passing through your neutral, and then pushing into your hands to lift your chest and chin. Just one more time. Inhale, breath. Exhale, tuck your tail under, pull the abs up, round your back again. Hold there, take a breath in to stay, and then exhale, roll it back out. All right, now I want you to find that midpoint again, where your back is in neutral, your gaze is down at the floor. And on the next exercise, we're going to try to maintain stability of your torso at your hips and your shoulders and your whole spine as we alternate reaching out opposite arm and leg. So you're going to inhale before you start. Then when you exhale, focus on compressing your abs first to make that stability, and then reach your leg back and your opposite arm forward. Inhale as you lower them back down. Switching sides. Exhale, let the breath happen, then the movements. We practice getting that core going first. Inhale to lower back down. And exhale, draw your navel in, reach your arm and leg away from each other. Inhale to return, and exhale as you reach out. Inhale back down. We're going to do two more like this, and then we're going to play around with doing your breath in the opposite pattern to see how it changes. And then back down. Okay, so in that first pattern, we've got that pulling into your center before reaching out to the limbs. Now, we're going to reach out on the inhale, and there's really no right or wrong answer about which is better for you, but just notice which one you feel more stable on. So this time I want you to take an exhale breath before we go. And just do the same thing, kind of feel that sling of support underneath you. Now as you inhale, you're going to reach your leg back, your arm forward, and you can imagine that air going to the tip of the toes, right to your fingertips, and then exhale, lower back down. And inhale, lengthen out, reaching to the walls, and exhale to return. Breathe in as you reach, and exhale, lower, and inhale, gliding back and up, and lower back down. You have 4 to go. Inhale. And exhale to release. Inhale to reach. Focus on keeping the hips and shoulders square as you reach out. And lower back down. One more time. And lower. So you might have preferred one more than the other, But that was just to show you that your stability can happen on either phase of your breath. So even though like we practice breathing a certain way, if you find you get backwards sometimes, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you keep breathing. Okay. Oh, we're going to do spinal rotation next. I'm going to do something different than usual. I'm going to actually do it facing away from you. I want you to see what's going on in my shoulder when I do this, and then I'll do the second set facing you. All right. This is my back. You're going to set up with your legs stacked into tabletop position, so your knees are about level with your hips, and you want to get your feet towards the front edge of the mat so they're even with your knees. Then you're going to rest your head on your bottom arm to make a little pillow of support. Take your top arm, reach it forward at chest height. When you breathe in, you're going to lift your top arm over your shoulder. On your exhale, start to rotate your upper body. Let your head twist with you. And my goal here is to keep my arm in line with my rib cage, so it acts like a weight for my chest to stretch. Now you're going to stay here to take a breath in, and then I want you to hold for another exhale, and you're going to use your breath to see if you can compress your abs more and wring yourself out just a little farther from the ribs. Take one more breath in to stay. Now when you lift your arm, I want you to make it longer. Try to stretch it up to the ceiling and over to close. All right, again, so as you inhale, so I'm lifting the arm up to get it in line with the shoulder. And now when I start to twist, I want the shoulder blade to feel like it's retracting, like we practiced before. It's sliding back towards the spine, which encourages the chest to open more. Stay here, take another breath in, and then hold for another exhale. Pull those abs in, let your shoulder joints sink a little further. Take one more breath in to stay, and then exhale, lift, and close. All right, let's screw around with the pace again. This time you're going to go all the way back on the inhale, and I'm just going to keep it moving. So you're going to inhale, let your breath expand you as you reach your arm back, and then exhale, tighten your abs to lift your arm and close. And again, inhale, big rainbow up and back towards the opposite wall, and exhale, pull your abs in and close back down. One more time, big inhale to reach back, and exhale as you close. Okay, so I'm going to flip over now. I am going to face you. So our key here is just making sure that the arm doesn't get behind the line of the shoulder, that it stays with it, and everything turns as a unit. Let's go back to those slower reps. So knees in tabletop, top arm forward. On your inhale, let's lift the top arm up to the ceiling. And then when you exhale, start the rotation towards the back and allow the chest to open. Hold here, take your breath in. Now let's stay for another exhale, pull your belly button in, and just sink a teeny bit further. Take one more inhale to stay, and then exhale, big rainbow, up and over to close. And again, inhale, top arm lifts up. Now rotate towards the back. Start the spiral from the ribs, let the neck and the head follow your twist. Hold here, breathe in, visualize that arm getting longer again. Stay for a second exhale, let your shoulder release deeper. Take one more breath in to stay, and then exhale, back up and over to close. Let's do your more fluid ones. You're going to inhale, reaching all the way to the back, and then exhale, pull your abs in, lift your arm and close. And again, inhale up and back, expanding, and then exhale, compress to lift your arm and close. One more time, big inhale to reach back, and exhale to close back down. All right, we're going to sit up. Next, we're going to go into the half roll back. For this movement, we need to start sitting on your sit bones again. We want the knees bent, and your feet can be flat or toe up, whichever is more comfortable, but the important part is that you can get right up onto those sit bones to start. Okay, arms reaching forward at chest height, and I'm going to have you come into this first by just flexing your spine over your legs. So not too different than what we did like when we had our hands behind our head. But now that you're here, let's check on a couple things. Arms parallel to the floor, and that you're still on your sit bone and you haven't like slumped back, although that is where we're going. So let's keep this rounded shape of your spine. You're going to take a breath in. When you exhale, start to curl your hips back away from your thighs, and you want to round your lower back down towards the mat. On your inhale, you're going to curl forward. And let's just keep doing that. So the essence of this exercise is keeping the C shape, moving from your pelvis, but only rolling back as far as you can keep that flex position. Exhale as you roll down, and then inhale, dive up and over the legs. Exhale, roll it back, pulling your navel to your spine. Inhale, curl forward. 3 more times. Roll down on your exhale breath. Inhale, flex over the knees. And 2 to roll back. And inhale, forward. 1 more time. Roll it down. and inhale forward again. Now stack back up to the top. All right, let's go into a rotation. Now your legs can stay like this, or if you want to shoot them out a little farther, just if they're annoying you there, that's fine too. I'm going to have you put your fingertips together. That's another I should face you moment. Let's put your fingertips together, elbows out to the side. So you have arms, but just shorter ones. All right, so if I keep my pelvis still and I just rotate my upper body, that's about as far as I'm going to twist. Just try that to each side. So not a huge amount of range of motion, even though we just did that stretch on the floor, right? Okay, so we're going to do that size motion, but in 3 pulses to see if we can get a little more of that compressive force you felt on the floor. So you're going to take an inhale, sit up tall, head reaching away from those sit bones. On your exhale, you're going to twist, get a little taller, twist again, little taller, one more time, and then inhale to come back to the center. Now the other side. Exhale to rotate, little taller, take it 2, little taller, twist it 3, and big inhale back to center. Exhale to rotate, release a little, twist deeper, release a little, and deeper. Inhale back to center, one more time like this. Exhale, twist, little further for 2, and further for 3. Inhale back to center. Let's do one more set of those. Well, not one more, just another bunch of those. But now let's make the arms longer. So now I'm going to go back sideways again. You want to take your arms a little forward of your shoulders so you can see your fingers in your peripheral vision. Take your breath in to prepare. Now as you exhale, you're going to twist. Stay stacked over those sit bones as you rotate for 1, little further, 2, and further for 3. Big inhale to the center. Other side, rotate 1, ring it out 2, and further for 3. Inhale to the middle. Exhale to twist. Deeper for 2 and further for 3. Big inhale, get tall to the middle. And exhale to twist. Deeper for 2 and further for 3. Inhale to center. One more each side. And twist. Ring it out. 2. Grow taller than 3. Inhale back to middle. Last time for 3. Deeper for 2 and further for 1. All the way back to the center. And let your arms release back down. All right. Back onto your back one more time. So we're going to play around with a little flexion work. And I'm going to have you start just getting the upper body going in what we call the ab prep, which just looks like a crunch. So your arms are going to be by your sides, which will let us incorporate some shoulder stability into the crunch. Now, let's do that first actually. Before you lift your head up, let's play with a couple shrugs. So I want you to slide your shoulders up to your ears like you're saying, I don't know, and then slide your shoulders back down. And so when you shrug up, you're going to feel the muscles in the top of the shoulders contract, but notice what happens when you slide down. It activates the muscles that like make the shape of your armpit. So those are your pecs and lats. Inhale, shrug up, and then slide down. Now when we do the crunch, you're going to have the feeling of the sliding down we're doing, but as you're bending up, you're also going to be spreading your shoulders apart a little bit. You don't really have to think about that, but it is going to happen. So you'll have both the shoulder movements working together that we've practiced. All right, let's try it. Take an inhale, and I want you to tip your chin down just a little bit. When you exhale, curl your head and shoulders off the mat, and now hover your arms off the floor, reaching your fingers towards your feet. Stay there and take a breath in. When you exhale, lower back down, one rib at a time, then your neck and your head. As you breathe in, tip your chin down slightly. Exhale, curl up, gaze towards your thighs to keep your head stacked over your shoulders. Hold here, take a breath in, feel the sides of the ribs expand, and then exhale to lower back down. Breathe in as you tip your chin down. Exhale, start to compress the abs first. We get that deep layer of support, and then we're using your obliques, sliding the ribs towards your hips. Try to maintain your lift. Take an inhale at the top, and then exhale to lower back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Breathe in as you tip your chin down, and then exhale, curl forward. Hold there, breathe in at the top, and then exhale as you return. And just one more time. Inhale, tip the chin down. Exhale, flex up. Last inhale, breath to hold, and then exhale to come back down. All right, so now let's work on a little endurance of that flexion. So this is an exercise called single leg stretch. It's part of our abdominal series. It's the only one we're going to do today. When we do this, we have to lift your legs up into the air. So you get one more preparation exercise, which will also give you a neck break before we go to it. Okay, so we've tilted your pelvis a couple times today. This time, we're going to do a very small rock of your pelvis. We call this imprint, where you tilt the pelvis so your low back gets a little flatter. And I've approximated my hips towards my ribs to get that, so my obliques are short. Now try to keep that tilt of your pelvis, lift up one leg, and then the other to tabletop. All right, this move is called toe taps. Take a breath in, and when you exhale, you're going to lower one leg to the mat and challenge yourself to use your abs to keep that low back flattened. As you inhale, bring your leg back up to tabletop. Now switch legs. Exhale, tap your foot down to the mat, and then inhale to lift back up. As you exhale, you're going to lower the leg down. Inhale as you lift. Try to observe what happens through the breath. So I'm using the commitment of each exhale to try to deepen the contraction of my abs. And I'm always drawing the hips towards the ribs to maintain that intensity through your obliques. One more on each side. And inhale up. Last time, tapping down and inhale up. All right, take one leg down and then the other, and we're going to do a reset now. Okay, so for a single leg stretch, now we're going to try to keep that same connection with your obliques, but both legs are going to stay in the air doing a reciprocal motion. And you'll be in that crunch. If your neck gets tired during the set, just put your head down and keep doing the rest of the exercise. All right, rock into imprint when you exhale. Lift up one leg and then the other to tabletop. All right, let's recreate your ab prep. So now you'll nod your chin down, curl up your head and shoulders, look at your thighs. Now I'd like you to pose your hands on one of your knees. When you exhale, you're going to reach your opposite leg out straight. So you got one in, one out. Inhale, you're going to start to switch your legs. Exhale, reach your other one out straight. We're just going to keep going back and forth. Now, I'm not really doing much with my hands touching my knees. It's just somewhere to put them in pose. Exhale, reach and reach. Now, at the upper body, try to keep your gaze right in between your knees. Resist looking up at the ceiling. That's your sign you've fallen out of your flexion. Every time you're exhaling, not only are you pulling your hips to your ribs, but your ribs to your hips. And reach. You've got 3 more sets. And 2. And 1. Now tuck both knees in. Let your head back down. And then your feet back down. All right, I'm going to have you flip over onto your stomach. We're going to do an exercise called the breaststroke. And I'm going to have you start out with your arms making a W by your sides. Legs are out straight on the mat. And then feeling the amount of lift we're going to get into extension in this exercise, well, another prep. So you're going to push your forearms into the mat. And I want you to start to lift your head like you're trying to see off the end of your mat. And then you're going to peel your ribs off the mat until just 1 or 2 are left touching. So I still can have my forearms down. I'm trying to engage the upper and mid back muscles, and then I'm going to lower back down. Feel that again. So head and chest lift up. And then lower back down. And just one more time like that. And when you get up to the top, I'm going to add another part. This time when you come down, instead of going all the way down, go down to a very low hover. And as you do, I want you to reach your arms overhead so you look like a superhero flying. And then go ahead and bend your elbows, lift your head and chest back up. All right, so now we're going to feel a contrast. We've got a low hover position we use. And then when you're pushing yourself up, that's your thoracic extension of the ribs. One more time, lowering down and lifting back up. All right, we're almost at the full exercise. We're going to keep going up and down like that, but now our arms are going to make a circle, and we're not going to catch ourselves like this till we're at the end. All right, so you're going to take a breath in to prepare. On your exhale, draw your abs in, lower into that hover, and reach your arms overhead. Then as you inhale, circle your arms around to your hips while you lift your head and chest up. And then exhale, dive down as you bend your elbows, reach your arms back to that superhero. Inhale, circle around, look off the end of your mat. Exhale, bend your elbows, reach your arms through, look down. Inhale, circle, float up. Exhale, knit those ribs, get close to the mat. Inhale, big circle 2 more times. Exhale, dive it down low. Inhale, circle around. 1 more time. Exhale, down. Inhale, circle, and come all the way back down. All right, sit back onto your heels into a shell stretch. Here we're going to round your spine and gaze down at your legs and just take a big breath in, focusing the air into your back. Hold here for an exhale, pulling your belly button in, maintain that little scoop in your abdomen. 1 more breath in to stay, and then roll up to sitting. Let's finish up standing. All right, I gotta move the camera. It's just not gonna cut it. Okay. Here I am. All right, 2 moves. First one we're going to do, We're going to take the spinal mobility we did at the beginning, sitting. We're just going to apply it standing. So I'm going to have you start out. We're going to reach your arms up to the ceiling, and I want you to look up at your hands. And then you're going to circle your arms out to the side as you drop your head, round your spine forward, and bend your knees. Now pretend you're picking something up. So we're going to rise back up, lift it to the ceiling, and then circle the arms around, flex forward. Push down into your heels, stack up through neutral, lift your chest to extend. Exhale, circle forward. Now let's just reverse your arms. Take your arms out wide like wings. We're going to reach up to the ceiling. Let the arms lead and just fall forward like a waterfall to follow into that flexion. Push down into your heels, lift your chest, and then circle around and down. One more time, rise up, looking to the ceiling, and then curl forward, and then come all the way back up one more time. All right, swing those arms down. Last but not least, we're going to do a little side bend. All right, I want you to reach your arms out to the side. Before we add the side bend, we're going to just do a little stepping move to get a little curtsy going. So I want you to bring one leg behind the other. We're going to bend both knees to curtsy, come back up to the center, and then the other leg, and back up to the center. So just a little dip down. Don't go too low. I want you to get a feeling of using the floor to push you back up. So I'm just giving in to the ground and pushing up and over. One more to each side like this. Then the side bend's coming. And up. All right, keep those legs moving. Here you go. So as you step behind, you're going to take a little side stretch. One arm overhead, one arm to your belly, and then switch over. All right, so whichever leg is stepping behind, that's the side that we've got that arm going overhead. So we get that full side body stretch. And 4 more times. Curtsy, reach. Get tall through the middle. Let your head go with you into the side bend. Last 2, reaching over and up. One more time. Side stretch and lift. Bum, 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 bum. Done. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for playing Pilates.